we have some very exciting action and adventure games coming our way in 2026 and beyond. So in this video, I thought I would show you 10 that I'm very excited for. Let's get into it. Number 1. Marvel's Wolverine. Marvel's Wolverine is shaping up to be a significantly darker and more grounded superhero experience developed by Insomniac Games, known for the Marvel Spider-Man games. The studio is now shifting toward a more brutal tone, focusing on Logan's past and the consequences of his violent nature. Combat is expected to revolve around aggressive, close-range encounters, with a greater emphasis on damage, healing, and survival rather than fluid acrobatics. Interestingly, early information suggests that the game may not be fully open-world, instead opting for denser, more detailed environments that support storytelling. This could allow for a more focused narrative compared to Spider-Man. The game is currently expected to release in September of 2026 as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Number 2. Aphelion. Aphelion is an atmospheric sci-fi adventure developed by Donnod, a studio well known for narrative-driven experiences. The story follows two astronauts stranded on a frozen alien planet, where survival becomes increasingly difficult as they are pursued by an unknown force. Instead of traditional combat, the game seems to emphasize exploration, stealth, and environmental storytelling. The planet itself plays a major role, with extreme weather and limited resources forcing players to think carefully about every movement they make. One particularly interesting concept is the emotional connection between the two protagonists, which may directly influence gameplay decisions. This blend of survival mechanics and narrative focus makes Aphelion stand out. It's expected to release in April of 2026. Number 3. Mina the Hollower. Mina the Hollower, developed by Yacht Club Games, offers a retro-inspired action-adventure with a darker tone than the studio's previous work on Shovel Knight. The game follows Mina, an inventor exploring a cursed island after her technology mysteriously fails. A standout feature is the digging mechanic, which allows players to burrow underground to avoid enemies, uncover secrets, or approach combat from unexpected angles. This creates a layer of strategy rarely seen in similar games. The visual style draws heavily from classic handheld titles, but the gameplay systems are much more modern and refined. This combination of nostalgia and innovation makes it particularly appealing. The game is expected to release in 2026. Number 4. 007 First Light. 007 First Light explores the early career of James Bond, offering a more grounded and character-focused take on the iconic spy. Developed by IO Interactive, the team behind the Hitman series, the game is likely to emphasize stealth and player freedom. Rather than presenting Bond as an experienced agent, the story focuses on his development, which opens up new narrative possibilities. Gameplay is expected to include infiltration, disguises, and multiple approaches to mission objectives, similar to Hitman, but with a stronger narrative structure. This could allow for both stealth-focused and action-heavy playstyles. The game is currently expected to release on May 27, 2026, but it has gone already through a plethora of delays, so do not hold your breath. Number 5. Judas. Judas is a narrative-driven action-adventure created by Ken Levine, the creator of the BioShock series. Set aboard a massive, collapsing spaceship, the game focuses on player choice and dynamic storytelling. Rather than following a fixed narrative path, Judas introduces a system where characters remember and react to your decisions in unpredictable ways. This can lead to shifting alliances, betrayals, and entirely different story outcomes. The game's setting, a society in decay aboard a starship, also provides a unique backdrop for exploring themes of control, rebellion, and identity. With its emphasis on emergent storytelling, Judas could redefine how narrative works in action-adventure games. It's currently expected to release around 2026. Number 6. Saros. Saros is an upcoming sci-fi action-adventure from Housemarque, the studio behind Returnal. Rather than simply repeating the roguelike formula of their previous title, the developers appear to be evolving into something more narrative-driven while still maintaining their signature fast-paced gameplay. Set on a mysterious alien world, the game follows a powerful enforcer navigating a dangerous environment shaped by unknown forces. Early details suggest that while the game may retain some form of cyclical or evolving structure, it will place a stronger emphasis on persistence and long-term progression. This could address one of the biggest barriers players had with Returnal, the feeling of losing everything after each run. With Housemarque's expertise in tight combat and atmospheric storytelling, Saros has the potential to blend arcade intensity with deeper narrative systems. It is currently expected to release in early 2026. Number 7. Cthulhu, the Cosmic Abyss. Cthulhu, the Cosmic Abyss, takes a psychological horror approach to the action-adventure genre, developed by Big Bad Wolf Studio. Known for narrative-heavy experiences, the studio is now exploring Lovecraftian horror on a much larger scale. Set in the year 2053, the story revolves around the deep-sea investigation gone wrong, as corporations searching for new resources unknowingly awaken something ancient beneath the ocean. Players take on the role of Noah, exploring a vast, submerged city while trying to maintain their sanity. Rather than relying purely on combat, the game emphasizes tension, investigation, and psychological pressure. The presence of an AI companion adds another layer, potentially influencing both gameplay and narrative decisions. The setting itself, an ancient city beneath the ocean, offers a rare and claustrophobic environment that could make exploration feel genuinely unsettling. The game is scheduled to release on April 16, 2026 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Number 8. Granblue Fantasy Relink. While Granblue Fantasy Relink originally released in 2024, its major expansion, Endless Ragnarok, effectively reintroduces the game as a much larger experience in 2026. Developed by Cygames, this updated version expands both the story and gameplay systems significantly. Set once again in the Sky Realm, a world made up of floating islands, the game follows a crew of Skyfarers searching for a legendary island while becoming entangled in a much larger conflict. The expansion introduces new story arcs, additional playable characters, and more challenging endgame content, including new boss encounters and gameplay modes. One particularly interesting addition is the introduction of summon mechanics that can directly influence battles, adding another strategic layer to the already fast-paced combat system. With both solo and cooperative play supported, the game continues to balance accessibility with depth. The Endless Ragnarok version is set to release on July 9, 2026 across multiple platforms, including a new version for next-gen systems. Number 9. At Fate's End. At Fate's End is shaping up to be a narrative-focused action-adventure that blends emotional storytelling with combat-driven gameplay. Developed by Thunder Lotus Games, the studio behind Spiritfarer, the project is expected to carry over the developer's strong emphasis on character-driven stories. Unlike traditional action-adventure games, this title appears to place equal importance on relationships and combat. Players are not just fighting enemies, but also confronting people from protagonist's past, suggesting that emotional stakes will directly influence gameplay encounters. This approach could create a system where battles feel personal rather than purely mechanical. Another interesting element is the focus on dialogue and choice, potentially allowing players to resolve conflicts in different ways. Given the studio's track record, it is likely that the game will explore deeper themes such as loss, identity, and consequence. At Fate's End is currently expected to release in 2026. Number 10. Duskfade. Duskfade is an upcoming action-adventure that leans heavily into atmosphere and world design, developed by Weird Beluga Studio. The game presents a stylized, almost dreamlike world that shifts between beauty and decay, creating a strong visual identity. The story appears to center around a character navigating a fractured reality, where environments and events may not always follow logical rules. This opens the door for creative level design, blending exploration with light puzzle solving and combat. One of the more intriguing aspects is how the world itself seems to react and change, suggesting a dynamic environment rather than a static one. Instead of focusing on large-scale combat systems, Duskfade seems to prioritize mood, pacing, and immersion. This could make it more comparable to artistic, narrative-driven titles rather than traditional action-heavy games. Its unique visual style and tone make it one of the more unusual upcoming releases. The game is currently targeting a 2026 release. And there you have it, 10 upcoming action-adventure games I am really excited for. What about you? Did any of these games catch your attention? Let me know in the comments below and subscribe for more videos like this.